So God of War Ragnarok lost to Elden Ring at the Game Awards. Let's talk about it. But first, I want you guys to comment down below, which franchise do you prefer? Not game, franchise. The God of War franchise as a whole, or the Souls games as a whole. So that's anything from Dark Souls 1, 2, 3, Bloodborne, Sekiro, and now Elden Ring, I suppose. Me personally, I have a really long history with both of these games. Watch this. These two right here are my original God of War games from when they released. I was playing God of War 1 at 7 years old. You're not supposed to be doing that. And then from there, I've had pretty much every other God of War game since, including the Origins collections, because without those, it's pretty hard to play them in modern day, until PlayStation Premium came around, because I'm pretty sure that the Origins collections are available on there now, I'm pretty sure. 2 seconds, I need to make sure that these go back in there. They've got to go back in there the way they came out. So 2 seconds, be right back. But then, Dark Souls 1. I have a long history with Dark Souls 1. I was playing it before Dark Souls 2 came out, so that would have been 2011, 2012 or so it's been at least 10 years now. Watch this. Tell me why I own 3 copies of Dark Souls 2, and then 2 copies of Dark Souls 3, because one's the Prepare to Die edition and one's the remaster. Be right back again, I've got to put them back. Something that I think is very interesting is how mainstream Elden Ring made Dark Souls, and how mainstream God of War 2018 made God of War. Like, again, comment down below, how many of you, your first experience with a Souls game was Elden Ring? And how many of you, your first experience with a God of War game was God of War 2018? I would imagine it's quite a few of you. Especially the God of War one, because, like I said, until PlayStation Premium came out, the original 3 God of Wars, well, the first 2 God of Wars especially, weren't exactly easy to obtain. God of War 3 was at least playable on PlayStation 3 and PlayStation 4. By the way, God of War 3, I would say, is one of the best looking games on the PlayStation 3. I'm not quite sure why it needed a remaster. Either way, when it comes to this Game of the Year thing, I don't care which one won it. But I know through things like TikTok that there are a lot of people who really, really do care. But something that I've always been really passionate about is inclusive gaming, in that it doesn't matter whether you prefer PlayStation, Xbox, PC, this franchise, that franchise, because the reality is that it is possible for you as a gamer to play it all, and you should play it all if you can. Across the variety of different platforms, across the console generations, there are great games that deserve to be played regardless of the year it is. That's why I've got this collection of PlayStation 2 games, because there are a lot of people who won't play a PlayStation 2 because of the graphics or whatever these days, but if it's possible and it's a good game, it's still valuable even today to play. Even if God of War Ragnarok is your favourite game and it's the one that you wanted to win Game of the Year, and you're truly actually somehow upset that it didn't win but Elden Ring did, try Elden Ring. Give it a go. Try Dark Souls. If you struggle with Elden Ring because it's such a big game and potentially confusing, try something like Dark Souls. It's a little bit more linear. Okay. It's interesting because Dark Souls fans will know that it's actually not very linear, in that you can do kind of in any order you want, but it is possible for it to be linear, and it's not a very long game. If you struggle with an Elden Ring style game because of how big it is and open, Dark Souls is a lot more contained. It all interconnects, and that's something that's very cool about Dark Souls 1, and something that a lot of people love, but it's still a smaller experience that feels about the same as Elden Ring. My favourite thing is talking about games. That's something I'm going to be doing here on YouTube more often, is game news, things like that. Just talking about games. Not so much always doing playthroughs and things like that, because that is a big time sink and a lot of you guys won't even bother to watch it all the way through. Like, comment down below if you're still here. I don't know, but hopefully you are. But just talking about games is something I'm incredibly passionate about. And the whole Game Awards thing is obviously a big deal, a big topic at the minute. But the important thing to realise is that these are not the only Game Awards. The majority of the games behind me, I guarantee, will have something printed on them that says Game of the Year, because some magazine, some website, some reporter, reviewer, whatever, will have given it the Game of the Year. This is the thing with gaming, is that there really isn't just one Game of the Year. There's so many different awards through so many different people that it truly doesn't matter, because all that really matters is, what do you enjoy? If you thought that God of War Ragnarok was the best game you've ever played and it meant something to you as a person, cool, because you'll never forget it regardless of whether or not it won Game of the Year. Same goes if you prefer Elden Ring. Same goes if you prefer that cat game, Stray, that came out earlier this year. I've not played that one yet. I think the point of this video is just about appreciating all games as long as they're good games. I don't care about awards, I don't care about platforms, I don't care about whether you should play a game on the Xbox or the PlayStation. I just care about there being good games that are made, because there are a lot of bad games that are made, and a lot of just for cash games that are made, and I think it's great that this year we've had some of the best games of all time release in God of War Ragnarok and Elden Ring, and them being solely single-player games with no microtransactions, and that is something of this scale is pretty rare in 2022. Anyway, if you've managed to watch the end, which is very few of you, what I'd like you to do is click that subscribe button and turn the bell notification on. Comment down below, bell, if you're still here. Thank you guys for watching, I love you all, and I'll see you later.